Chip here with the XRP Minute. Welcome everybody. Hopefully you're hearing me and I hope you're seeing me. I had planned to use another software tonight, and just like you would imagine, it didn't work. And the explanation that they gave was that there was a problem on their end. It was them. It was one of these, it's you, not me. It's not us. So had a little bit of a difficulty there. So that's why I got started a little bit on the late side. So I am resorting back to once again to the OBS, my favorite. I'm still trying to figure it out and learn it, and you know, all that fun stuff. But anyway, hopefully you guys see me. I think I probably have some lag because I'm not seeing any comments in there. I'm not seeing any comments. But what do we have, Gloria? So thank you. Let's run down some of the folks that showed up, man. I mean, that's much appreciative. Jungle Inc. first. I think he has the record right now. He's the first every time. Jungle Inc. Thank you so much for being here. Big J Currency, Oja Punk, Matt Richter, and again, I hope I'm saying that right. It could be right, or I don't know. Who else? Organic Fud showing up. Moneybags is in the house. Ali G also in here. Who else do we have here? Who else do we have? Let's see. Hodl Report. Jeff from the Hodl Report. And I'm going to put another video out. Jeff and I worked on a cool project together, and we're going to start talking a little bit more about that as we get a little bit deeper. I probably won't focus on it in this one, but we'll get into it. Crypto Bird Dog, thank you, thank you. You know, if I got OBS to work, I'm like, well, I'm already ahead of the curve a little bit, right? All right, Matt Richter giving me the big old fist pump, saying you're right. All right, good deal. XRP dude, the dude. Cryptopolis is in. Anthony Jackson says, hey, Jungle and Crypto Bird Dog and DNI. What a great, listen, man, I'm going to tell you something. I love DNI's stream tonight because he was going off on you know, at some point I'd expected to go off on technical analysis, TA, the charts, the golden cross, resistance. You know, I always feel like, am I the only one not into this? Like, I mean, I know Malpass is like a big supporter, and he looks at these charts and he makes sense of them somehow. I look at them and I'm confused because, you know, future proves past. I can look back and we can overlay something. Let's say a chart from, you know, when we look at the Bitcoin run up the last couple bull runs. Yeah, you can go back and overlay them, but for some reason, it seems like there's something missing there for me. So when D and I went on the rant today, I was like, I want a whole hour of that because it was like so spot on. Brian Dark is in here. Jay Vaught, good to see you, my man. So let's get into it. Tonight, I'm thinking that I'm going to do Thursdays. It's going to be like a tech Thursday. You know, I also like tech. So I'm going to spotlight some things that I think are semi-interesting to some people. Bob Moneybags, you know, Bob Moneybags. Yeah, please like and subscribe. Thank you, Bob. You know, did a few videos, and Bob was really a big supporter early on. He had me on his, he had me on an interview. We had probably one of the funnest times. Did I just say that? One of the more enjoyable times. Bob, I really appreciate it when you did that, and I hope to return the favor and get you on the channel because I'll probably do an interview one night. Dying to get Jungle on as well. I just got to get the bugs, you know, squash those bugs, the ghost in the machine. Got to get it out. So we'll go ahead and do that. XRP dude, that's cool, man. I like anybody that has a prefix of XRP. So what's going on? Anybody hear anything interesting in the XRP community? Anything about our favorite stablecoin? Anybody? Bueller? Anything? I mean, yeah, Bitcoin. So if you noticed on my stream tonight, I actually put BTC in there that I wanted to talk about. Probably not what you think, but you know, I started out in BTC. It was how I came to the crypto world. But you know, just like a lot of people out there, I made the fun mistake of you know, not hodling and selling too soon, right? So that will happen. Too busy watching BTC. Jungle, nice. And let's pop into it tonight. I just want to throw it out there tonight to you guys, the community. I love the interaction. What are you guys thinking? You know, where are we? You know, we're at 33, which is, you know, you're probably dying if did somebody in the community buy like recently? Because is somebody holding us back? Because that's usually what happens. You know, I buy and it tanks, you know. What else do we have going on? Okay, so BTC is holding. Guys, what is BTC at? I'm not going to jump on the chart right now, but I mean, where are we? What's the latest number? Jungle, my financial advisor, what do you have? What do you see it at? Yeah. So let's do this, guys. Let's jump right into it. I wanted to pop through a couple things, and then I wanted to end up on some of the tech stuff. I'm calling this Tech Thursday. This is the first official Tech Thursday. Let's kind of see how it goes. Annalise in the house. Thank you, Anna. Nice to jump up. Vertical freedom. Is there any better freedom? I mean, there's horizontal freedom, but that person's not in here right now. But yeah, greater the news equates to shite prices. Cryptopolis bought 3,000 XRP this morning and made it crash. I knew it was somebody in the community. I knew it. So I don't know. You're responsible to jump in on you. Bull run continues. Okay, we're still there. Let's take a look at. Let's go to this right here. So this is a kind of an interesting thing. So a Canadian drug dealer forced to forfeit 1.4 million in Bitcoin. Oh, let's play the violin. Too sad, right? So just so you know, a Canadian drug dealer has got 1.4 million in Bitcoin, and I don't. So, but he was forced. This happened up in Canada. The ruling reportedly was the largest Bitcoin forfeiture recorded by authorities in Canada. So I'm not sure how many rulings there were about Bitcoin and criminals, but apparently this is the largest. Court still says that Bitcoin stash and proceeds from drug deals. On April 3rd, 2019, Justice Jane Kelly of the Toronto Superior Court ordered a forfeiture of 281 BTC. So here's what I'm wondering. Did they get to forfeit it prior to the bull run? I mean, where are we on that whole thing? Let's take a look. Anthony Jackson, what are we saying? Can we all hit the thumbs up? Thank you, man. My man. All right, thank you. Annalise in the house. Who else? CBD. Bobby Moneybags. Okay, so I just thought it was interesting because they announced in this article here that it's 1.4, but what's the real tally, you know? And when will they actually forfeit it? And who keeps it and who sells it? Because this is going to run up, right? Potentially. So this article is already pretty much old. What do we have here? Ghost of Silk Road, Alpha Bay lingers on. Okay, so yeah, we're not going to get into that. But let's take a look at this. So I saw this article. This is interesting. I was looking for, I saw this a couple on some of my feeds. I was looking for it. The Miami Exchange planning SEC regulated security token platform. And when I actually went to go click on it, if you guys are familiar with this, this is the block. They do some pretty cool things. But this is a cool 404 page. If you're not familiar with the 404 page, that's what happens when you end up hitting a page that there's no content. So instead of saying, you know, having a page that shows you nothing, they flash a 404. Can you see who's popping through the O there? I love this. Of no other reason other than the fact that maybe the block took that article down, but I was able to find that on Yahoo News. Why do I really highlighting this? Well, it's Miami. I live in well, sort of. I live in Boca Raton, just north of there. But let's take a look at this. So Miami Options Exchange, MIAX, is partnering with token issuer Templum to create a regulated U.S. exchange for digital securities. They announced in a press release. Now here's what's funny. This whole article is based around the fact that they're planning an SEC regulated security token platform. But then you start getting in the article here, and then you read right here that the team is awaiting SEC approval, right? So if the SEC is not on board, does it go belly up? And I got to give them props. I mean, these guys have done well. They've raised $12 million in 2 funding rounds, which is phenomenal. Their expertise in creating the premier marketplace of digital securities with MIH's expertise in operating exchanges, we believe this partnership will advance digital securities, bring greater efficiencies to the market. So it's kind of a cool thing, but this is in my own backyard, and it's weird because I don't really hear much news coming out of Miami except for weird car chases. If you're ever anytime I turn on the TV, you turn on the TV, you notice there's a car chase going on. Yeah, it's 2 places. It's either Jungle Inc.'s backyard out in California, or it's somewhere in Florida. So Crypto Bird Dog knows this well too, right? Why do we always get the crazies? I don't know. I think it's the warm weather attracts them. So let's take a look at this next story here. I found this fascinating, and I don't, Dina, I don't know if you're still in if you're still in here, but I like this. This was a pretty cool article. So the average life expectancy for fiat currency is 27 years. Every 30 to 40 years, the reigning monetary system fails and has to be retooled. I'm pretty sure unknown title wasn't the original title for this. I think that somehow they got screwed up. And this is on, I don't know, I don't know how it's to be trusted, but it's a blog spot, which is, I guess, George Washington too, because George Washington 1 and George Washington were taken. So this is from George Washington too, but he does quote monetary scholar Edwin Vieira pointed out that every 30 to 40 years, the reigning monetary system fails and has to be retooled. The last time in the U.S. was in 1971 when Nixon canceled the convertibility of dollars into gold. And if you guys know what happened back then, I don't, because I was, barely, I was a little kid. Okay, I was a little kid, but basically what happened was a lot of people were calling the gold, and he changed the monetary policy. So if you have a fiat currency really that has no backing, and you look, I don't want to get into the Fed so much, but if you look into, so what's DNI saying here, the U.S. lasted longer because it's the world reserve currency, right? And part of what that kind of shakedown there is that they had Saudi Arabia I guess what they try to do is have all of the oil purchased in the US dollar. So that's one of the reasons it's gone on. So it's kind of like a built-in system, but you can see that people are bucking this. And you have things going on with Iran and people getting locked in or basically getting they're getting locked out of the financial system, and SWIFT is locking them out. They're going to look for other ways. And listen, this is one thing you find out about criminals. They spend a lot of time figuring out how to get around things. And I always think why don't they just put that for good, right? So if we look at the same thing, what happened with the U.S. currency, with the Fed, we don't own our currency in the U.S. here. It's kind of weird. We don't. We're at $22 trillion in debt. I don't want to go on a rant about that, but I found this to be an interesting article. I did put it down below. You can kind of read through this, and it's interesting nonetheless. So a lot of stuff is quoted. I didn't look at the original source, but interesting nonetheless. Let me just go through the comments here. Let's see what we're talking about here. What's AJ saying? Like living in Buffalo, but always talking about Central Park. Well, listen, I grew up outside of Buffalo, Anthony Jackson, and there's a reason I don't live there anymore, man. It was depressing with all that snow, but I know you grew up on the other side of the lake, as we call it, north Toronto there, which I spent a lot of time in. And man, I love Canada. I love Canadian radio. So I felt, and most of my family is still in Canada. My father's side, it immigrated in from Hungary, and my grandfather is the only one that came down, and we're the only one that he migrated to the U.S. Let's take a look at this next story. Let's cue up the next story. So Bitcoin is a hedge against irresponsible Federal Reserve asset manager. This is another interesting thing that I found. As the Bitcoin price recovers following a catastrophic bear market, crypto bulls are optimistic that good times lie ahead. Moreover, they predict the public's embrace of Bitcoin will strengthen over time. So this is kind of interesting. So Travis Kling is the founder and chief investment officer of Ikigai Asset Management. I probably didn't say that right. Says the Fed's recent manipulation of interest rates has caused many people to lose faith in central banks. You think so? You think that's what made it fail? So I think when we look around the world, I think we're going to see a lot of central banks a little bit nervous right now because crypto is really going to kind of sidestep them altogether. So Kling goes on to say that Bitcoin price rally was a reaction to the Fed. He believes that the recent Bitcoin price was caused by growing public distrust of the Federal Reserve. Yeah, maybe, but I mean, it could have been that $100 million whale purchase on 3 different exchanges that got the ball rolling. But you did that, and then 16 hours later you cashed out. You started with the 100 million, and you cashed out, with another, was a 25% run. So it was a pretty nice little run there. I mean, if you look at it that way. Let's take a look at this. So I wanted to get into, let's come back to that guy. So I saw this one too. If you guys know Liquid.com, they have this this is kind of a cool little chart. You know, we've seen enough things on what's going on with charts, but what I liked about this is you can see they've got this thing with the top mover, so you can see BTC, XRP, what is that? So it's just kind of nice. I like the layout of it. It's a nice, clean sort of a look, and that's just that on liquid.com, just the reflection of the market. I just kind of stumbled upon this by accident. Thought I'd just pop it up there, and I want to talk about this guy. So when these guys came out, I don't know if you guys know what Patreon is. If you know a lot of YouTubers out there, they're able to monetize their channel because you can become a Patreon, if I'm saying it right. And basically what you do is you can give $5 a month or $10 a month, and it really goes to help support what YouTubers are doing, any content creator in general, podcasts. So what started happening was some people started getting banned because of their thought. You know, their thinking did not meet up with the group think. So PayPal started banning people, Patreon started banning people, and when these guys came out, I was pretty excited about it. Patreon, I was like, oh, pretty cool. So their whole thing is they're decentralized Patreon alternative, and you can basically monetize. There's no deplatforming, so I said, wow, this is fantastic. These guys are not going to go ahead and give into, they're not going to censor people. And I thought that was really kind of cool. Free speech, yay, right? So free speech is everything across the board. No deplatforming, cheap, fast. They basically did a comparison in their fees, 4% versus 10%. You get paid out weekly versus 30 days. I mean, what's not to love about these guys? Well, you ask. So you know, podcasters, video creators, Discord groups, you can create ways to monetize. So they put out a tweet. They said with Patreon, he would pay. This guy basically said now he can support my monthly newsletter on Bitcoin and crypto developments with Patreon company, and then Patreon. Answer with Patreon, he would pay more than 30% in fees for his $1 subscription. With Patreon, only 4%, thanks to Bitcoin Lightning enabled micropayments. What? Really? I think some people are still processing their Bitcoin payments from 3 days ago, right? They still haven't quite hit. So I'm looking at this, and then I said, so I posed a question. I'm like, hey guys, what about XRP? Any plans to add or no? Well, they basically came back with, they actually deleted their tweet. They said no, and then they called me a bot. So that was kind of funny, and so then Bob Moneybags responded back. I mean, the whole what do you call it? The grouping here got sort of so. Bob Moneybags jumped in as a bot. Now I know not to take him seriously. Thanks, Chip. So a whole bunch of people chimed in, and I had sent out another tweet as well. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Look at this. One of them was nah. They basically posted in when Jack Dorsey answered. This is one of the ones they didn't delete, but when I said, hey, we'd love to see you offer XRP as a payment method, I meant to say huge hugs, but I mean, we're hugs too. We're all, yeah, what the hell a bot, right? I was pretty, and you know, the funny thing is they deleted the tweet, and I even went back on the Wayback Machine because everything on the internet's permanent, right? Oh, did you say take a sippy poo from my Miami Heat class? Well, sure. Sorry guys, I have to. I try to find what they deleted, but they did call me a bot. You do see Bob Moneybags proof over here. It was pretty offensive that they went in and said that. But anyway, you know, listen, they basically said it wasn't decentralized. They called me a bot. A bunch of people called them out. But apparently they thought what they did do was a little bit not right because they did delete the tweet. So I'll say XRP Community 1, Patreon 0, okay? So I want these guys to succeed, but come on, if you have something you're going to be taking in, you know, Bitcoin on the Lightning Network, it's not exactly a demonstration of speed, right? Will people have to wait 3.5 days to get their money? We'll see. So I saw this tweet here. This is Crypto Man. Puts out those cool, funky socks, and I know Crypto Bird Dog. I know one time, and I saw her either tweet about it, but she's got some of these cool shoes. that are XRP shoes that are pretty. I mean, from time to time I will put cool XRP swag up here. But so Crypto Toe Man, I don't know if you guys saw this, and you can still get in on it. He basically said, hey, retweet this, spread the word to the XRP community. I'm going to do a bit of artwork, which will include all my followers. Also, anyone else who wants their profile photo on the XRP art. Help spread the word. Super excited. So he sent this out, when was this? April 3rd. So basically, he said, I think I broke my Twitter account because I can't load any more followers. So if we scroll through this, okay, XRP community, I've currently got 613 people. Please look through your photos. If I missed you or anyone, let me know. Well, I started looking through there. I didn't see myself, but that doesn't mean, I mean, there's a lot of photos here to be looking through. They're pretty small, so maybe, I said, I think you missed me, but he was cool. He's like, hey, chime in if we missed you. So he basically started doing this. And then the next bit we saw, so this is what he put up. A blank screen. No, he didn't put up a blank screen. He put this up right here. This is what he's working on, right? So he's assembled these all in here. And his comment was, holy moly, my eyes are killing me. So I don't know if he used a program to stitch these together. I don't know exactly what he did in this. It looks like a screenshot, maybe, because I do see some bit, I don't know, some sort of, oh, is that me? No. No. But hey, look, there's blue. I see some people in there. I also saw, yeah, I see a lot of people from the community. I don't know if I thought I saw Bob Moneybags earlier. I don't know who else is in here. I think I saw the Zoo somewhere in here. But yeah, go through here, look, support this project. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if it's going to be sold, but maybe it's a comforter you put on your bed, you know. Maybe you can go to bed and snuggle up with the XRP community and be like, you know, get a little hug at the end of the day. It might be kind of nice. So I like what he's doing there. And so I'm calling this Tech Thursday, and other than the fact that I'm just going to go through some things that I think are pretty interesting, this was kind of a cool thing. This is on the Google Play Store. This is only for Android, which is weird because I'm an iOS guy, but I saw this and I thought it was good. Enough phone is enough. And what this is, a cool little app. The average person, the typical person opens their phone 150 times per day. I know on an iPhone you can track how many times you pick it up, and also you can track weekly how much time you spend. And man, when you know that, you really think, I've got a problem. And when you see most of it's on Twitter and YouTube, you're like, man, I've got a problem to deal with. Oh yeah, your XRP boots. Bird Dog, you're gonna have to put, I don't know if you have a link to that, but anyway, next stream, I wanna put those up here and showcase them. They're pretty cool. I think I gotta get a pair of those. So what this app basically does is that number can easily go with the 300, which means every 5 minutes. Can't force yourself to use your phone less. Well, maybe if money's involved in this equation, you're going to have to be a little bit more motivated. Every time you open the phone, you're going to voluntarily pay 0.003. Not much, but in time, it gathers. Also, 50% of the money you're paying goes towards solving an environmental problem. It's a win-win. You know what would really keep people off their phones if they enabled a program like this? If you started giving up drops of XRP, right? Because Fiat, you're like, it's coming out of my bank account. XRP, let's suppose that was even 0.003 XRP, that's going to add up pretty quick. And what's going to happen there? Well, seems like the next logical step would be you wouldn't be touching your phone, or you would soon be disconnecting this app and putting up or connecting it back to Fiat. So I thought that was an interesting little app. There's some cool stuff that I see sometimes on the Play Store that I can't get on iOS, and I'm sure you Android people, vice versa. Hodl report, Jeff says, hanging up at the SEC. Not sure, that's probably, hang up at the SEC. Anthony Jackson, you can see Square launching, what is that, CAD-based stablecoin? Geez, Anthony Jackson, I'm so glad you brought up stablecoin, because I'm going to talk a little bit about stablecoins tonight. I'm going to talk about something important, stablecoins. Let's see here. Where is my stable coin? Not there. Not there. Did I lose it? I might have. Holy cannolis. Yeah, I might have lost it. You know, when you have, oh, here it is. Do not fear. So let's talk about stable coins. This site made me crack up a little bit, right? It's called stableshitcoin.com. Okay, and you can basically create the ultimate stable shite coin if you want to. If that's how they say it in the UK, shite. And so you design your very own stable shite coin, okay? Because we don't have enough of them. You know, 2 or 3 wasn't enough. Hey, Loco is free. What's up, man? How you doing? Thank you for stopping in. We don't have enough of these coins, but that's why I like this. Someone took a little initiative to create this. So let's go through this together. Let's have some community involvement here. Okay, Anthony Jackson just posted a link there. But oh, we got it. That's right. The Canadian dollar peg stable coin. When will the stable coin madness end? Please, enough of the stable coins. We don't need 4,000. I know somebody else is ranting about this too. I think it might have been Jeff from Hodl Report, but I'm serious. It's getting a little bit out of hand. So let's go through this a little bit. This is going to be the community interaction feature here. So design your very own coin, use these to maximize volatility, blah, 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 blah. Okay, name your stable coin. What is it? I want to see some coins. What are we going to name this coin? Let me give me some ideas from the community because we have to put, local is not bad, but I don't think you were responding. But what can we name our coin? I want to go through this. I haven't been through this yet. I don't know what it does. I don't know if it blows up my my screen. No, yeah, so I'm not sure what we would call this. We'd call it something. Bitcoin Busker. Did I say that right? Busker? Bitcoin Busker. Bitcoin Busker, good to see you joining. We talked about Bitcoin. I hope you were here earlier. We did our Bitcoin stuff. It was a small Bitcoin feature, but we did accomplish Bitcoin. And thank you for showing up. Hey, man, thank you very much. Thanks for finding me. I appreciate that. And hey, I'd like from time to time, you know, if you're a Bitcoin person, which I would imagine because I'm looking at your name, love to hear some, gosh, I wish you would have jumped in earlier. Hopefully you saw some of that Bitcoin stuff we were talking about. And if I missed you earlier, sorry about that. But what is the name of our stable coin? What are we going to name it? Anybody? Starborn? Hey, Phoenix Starborn. Well, I like that. Starborn coin. But listen, man, you put some amazing stuff out on the internet. I see some of the stuff you put out there. Man, we do not need a stable coin in your name, but let's see what we have. Money bags, round to it. Don't know. Anybody else have any other suggestions? Otherwise, I'll make up a wild suggestion. Otherwise, we'll have Starborn coin going here. And that will be our newest stable coin. Solid coin, yeah, solid as a rock. They actually have a leaderboard here too, right? So let's take a look at what they have. Vitalik's coin, stable shite coin, Millie Turd's coin, Cariana stable coin. Yeah, so I don't know what this site means. I don't know what it really is. I mean, I thought they were maybe promoting something else, but it is funny. So let's go with, I like solid coin because I don't want to tarnish. I really don't want to tarnish Phoenix Starborn's name. I have too much respect there. Paste this in. Let's see what happens. I mean, choose your coins. Select the coins you want your stable shite coin to be backed by. Well, that wasn't what I was expecting, but Paragon, denotes, lending block. I don't know. I mean, Delphi, don't know. Should we show some more? Cloak coin. What did you have there? Shade coin? Shade. Oh, shite coin. Well, that would have been a good one. That would have been a good one, Annalise. I don't know. Cloak coin. What the heck? Let's see what had. Cloak coin, big boom. We trust. Oh, let's have them backed by all of these as if it matters. Let's click next. See what happens. Get notified. I see what this is. This is an email harvester. Oh, I see. You got me sucked in. I'm going to put my email in. So luckily, I have an email set up just for that. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the one when you check out at a store, brick and mortar shop, and you're like, hey, and they're like, can I have your email address? Can I have your email address? I'm like, you can have it. And I'm like, what is it? Well, it's thanks for the spam bro with a dot between it at Gmail. And they're like, no, seriously. Yeah, seriously. So anyway, let's see what we got. Where's our stable coin? Hooray, you created a stable coin. Let's go to Twitter. I don't know what we're gonna do there, but it's one of those experiments where you don't know how it's going to go, and then once you get through it, what's hotter than a stable coin? So I'm going to now drag some other people in here. Oh, I guess it was an April Fool's joke, so I am a little bit late on that. Oh well, let's moving right along. So you know, in this community, one of the things I like about this community is we like to give back. There's some charities that are backed. Um, there's the Good Souls group. There's several charities there, which I want to do. I probably want to drill down and do it justice in another stream. But you guys all know King Blue, and you know some of the other folks that we raise money for. I saw this. You know, this is kind of a cool site. It's called ethical.net, and what they do is they have ethical alternatives and resources. So, for example, for browsers, they give you some different options in browsers that you can get behind. Like I use Brave. I don't know if you guys do. They also have a monetization, search engines. If you don't like to be tracked on Google, if you don't enjoy it, if you don't want your privacy basically taken, there's things like DuckDuckGo. They're doing really well. They're monetizing and they're not tracking you, which I really like. But anyway, this is kind of a cool thing. But if you wanted to look at, like, you know, what do we have for video hosting? Show me some stuff. You know, they have some other stuff in here. So that was a really cool site. This is basically ethical.net. Moving right along. I like this fun stuff too, right? So, you know, I don't know if you ever, you know, being an artiste, you know, spending 20 plus years as a creative director in the advertising space, you know, I always like to see bios of Twitter people. And, you know, this is funny because I think they're not really real, but if you look at this hiking addict, hustler, guitarist, Mad Men fan, so you just keep on clicking on this and you get just a random bio, just something fun. Skier, maker, record lover, hand letterer, and doodler. And honestly, if you look at my bio, it's pretty sad. It might even come up in one of these, right? I haven't seen XRP in any of these yet, but look through here. Yeah, see, here's the article I was looking for, and when I went over on Block Crypto, I was trying to figure out where exactly it was in this whole mess of items here. So, but let's go back to full screen here. Full screen camera, full screen camera, full screen. There we go. So anyway, let's go back and talk to the community a little bit. So Phoenix Starborn, nice. Now we need to get Elon to mention it. Yeah, you know, that when Elon Musk the other day tweeted about Dogecoin, everyone started going a little crazy. You know what? So what? A lot of people that don't know about crypto, he was trolling pretty hard. He did put a couple things out there. I talked about it on my stream the other night. But I love the guy, man, because how many people do you know that put out a tweet and now the next minute they're getting fined by the SEC for 20 million? Or he's his own man. He does what he wants, says what he wants, and he takes it on the chin if he oversteps the boundary, which he does. You know, he's like constantly crossing that line, which is one of the reasons that I really like the guy. So who else is in here? Ranger Road 175, welcome. Thank you for stopping in. Who else we got here? 179 Kevin. Yeah, 179 Kevin. Is there a 178 Kevin? There might be, because if you had to go through all the 17s, 176 Kevin. So I'm thinking that has some significance to you. There's something powerful about that number. It's a lucky number. It's something cool, or maybe it's just random. I don't really know what it is. What else do we have here? Yeah, Elon is awesome, man. You know, and it's funny. I don't know if you guys saw that Joe Rogan podcast. I like Joe Rogan too because he's, you know, I don't know, you could sit there and talk for 2-3 hours and still be engaged in the conversation. I like the format that he's doing, and he's blowing up pretty big too. I remember when Joe Rogan, he used to be, we started out as a comic, but Joe Rogan, I remember watching him on Fear Factor. I don't know if you guys, there was a show in the US called Fear Factor, and they had teams competing for who could do the weirdest, grossest stuff. Like you would get in a giant aquarium filled with roaches, and they would just put like these goggles on your face, and the roaches would be crawling all over there. And that was back when Joe Rogan had hair. And he, you know, I look at those days. If you were to go to YouTube and Google Fear Factor, you'll see some of those old episodes. They probably have them online. It's a fun show. I really liked it. I watched. It was pretty much the same show every time, but I enjoyed watching it. It was a fun type of show. Yeah, Fear Factor was good. You know, those are one of those programs that I think is ready for a reboot. They might have to tweak it a little bit. They maybe could change it up a little bit, but it had a pretty good run. I think it was on 5 or 6 years. I don't know exactly how long it ended up staying, but what do I see? 179 Kevin. Yeah, I had that name since dial-up days. Hey, what? Yeah, remember? Yeah, you know, speaking of dial-up days, so early, so 94, 95, I ended up seeing an old colleague of mine. I used to do 3D animation, early days, you know, and it was primitive compared to today. But I ran into an old colleague of mine, and he's like, "Hey, Chip, what are you up to? You know, what are you doing now?" And I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm jumping in the internet. I'm designing websites. I'm getting in, I'm getting my feet wet." His face goes completely blank. He's like, "Now, tell me if you see any parallels here." He's like, "Oh." But he's like, but don't you think the internet's a scam? Where have I heard that before? Huh? He's like, don't you think the internet's a scam? Well, scam how? He goes, well, it's kind of like fad, right? I mean, think it'll burn out in 2 or 3 years. I'm like, man, you're going to be able to do banking on the internet. You're going to be able to do everything. You'll be able to buy stuff. You'll be able to do, just about anything you could imagine will be on the internet. He's like, I don't know, man. Well, good luck with that. I don't, sounds kind of like a scam, but I mean, there's a lot of fads that come and go. So, when I think about what we're doing here with XRP, and, we always like to think we're later, but if we look back at the whole internet craze and when it started, think about it like this. We think we're maybe 97, 98, Google, Yahoo, getting into the game, Amazon came online in the late 90s. I think we're even earlier than that. And I think the reason we see the coin, when we look at XRP, we're like, why isn't it going? When Lambo, when Moon? Well, look, I mean, it is kind of early, but when I looked at Brad Garlinghouse basically coming out and saying that Q1 was a big quarter for Ripple, and they were basically signing 3 people up a week, right? They were signing these contracts 3 a week. That's phenomenal. And we're like, well, where is all the volume? Well, it's coming, okay? It's coming. We know it's coming. It's one of the reasons that we're not deterred by the FUD, the fear and loathing, the Bitcoin Maximus, which I love because, again, I started with Bitcoin, but they just love to hate on our community sometimes, and I have no hate for the BTCs. I mean, the Lightning Network was their attempt to kind of like figure out how to get the payments working and getting some speed if they're going to be this, they believe that they're going to become the global. But I look at it this way. A rising tide floats all boats, right? I mean, if it was the stock market and it was like the beginning and birth of the stock market, you wouldn't have people saying, oh, no, that stock's going to fail. I mean, you have to have a marketplace, right? There's going to be a marketplace. Is there going to be room for 200 coins? I think eventually there will be. Will they all make it? I don't know. Probably not. I mean, we'll probably see the top 10 spin around for a while, but I don't know if they're all going to make it necessarily. But what I think about when I think about XRP is I think, what about the utility? Man, we just attached ourselves to a rocket ship, right? And it's what do you call it? The smoke's coming out of the bottom. It's getting ready to go. It's getting ready to blow. And we're like, and then all of a sudden it dissipates a little bit. And we're sitting in the rocket ship, strapped in, upside down, vertical freedom, and we're ready to get going. And we get a little, like a cartoon, like, oh, misfire. Cue the engines again. We get started again. And then we start that puppy rocking over and over again, right? So we think about, hey, some real, what's going on? Myron Bagley, what's up, man? Hey, buddy, good to see you in the stream. And every time I see you, my man, I feel compelled to say this. Where we go one, we go all. That's it. I just had to say that because I also believe that that phrase applies to the crypto space. Where we go one, we go all. There's room for everybody. I mean, even though I put that whole thing up about the shite coin, look, we need everybody to succeed, or at least a good percentage of it to succeed in this marketplace. We surely want to have a vibrant marketplace because if 120 coins die in the next 3 months, that's not going to be good for adoption worldwide, right? It might even kick the people that are in the marketplace right now who have other altcoins, and they'll be like, oh, this is not kind of what I expected. So we want, there he goes, Bird Dog. Okay, where we go one, we go all. And I'm stealing that. I am stealing that officially for the crypto community. We will succeed together. We will pull the others up, or they will fail on their own, but they certainly will have the option to make it, right? Everyone has the same kind of chance. They can put a team together of coders and they all have the same chance, right? They could succeed. There's a lot of interesting projects out there. But let me get on my XRP, soapbox for a moment. There is no greater digital asset than XRP, right? Like I said, we're on that rocket ship. We're upside down in the cone, Elon and SpaceX ready to go up, and we start blasting off. And just like SpaceX's rocket, we come right back down and we land safely because we're ready for the next time we go up. And it's going to be a little bit better each time. Kind of like SpaceX in a weird way, but we will get there, Anthony Jackson, where we go one, we go all. Right on. And again, can we take that? Can we own that for the crypto space? Because does that not apply to who we are? Let's all succeed together. But let's see XRP be the #1 digital asset. So I am excited about what happened with BTC. When I see what's happening with Ethereum and Litecoin, yeah, I mean, it's pretty exciting. We're looking back saying, well, when Lambo? When Moon? Well, it's coming at some point, right? We're going to get there. It's going to happen at some point. Who else is in the stream tonight? If you see me looking up here, it says I'm looking up at another monitor. And let me see who's in here. So Sumreal is in here. Who else came in? Phoenix Starborn. The Q coin. It's funny. I mean, I've been in the Q since day one. I even thought about, will I do a Q segment on the program? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But if I feel like there's a little bit of demand for it, what's going on right now, not to dive too far into it, but I like what's going on regarding the Fed. And some of the things, future proves past. When we see zero deltas on posts by the president and also Q, you can't really explain that away because we can all try that. We can all queue it up and we're never going to hit that zero delta. So that tells us a lot. But anyway, some Rio says, think we just did, bro. I'm not sure what that is. The Q coin. The Q coin. You know what's really funny? A while ago, I'll tweet this out. But anyway, some ex-PayPalers, they are trying to start. Well, it's a different sort of a payment system, and I don't remember what the original thing was, but they actually called it not a Q coin, but it's called Q, and it's by some ex-PayPalers. And basically, if you were able to bring some people in on early adoption, they were saying that I think I had ended up with over 100,000 of this, and I can post it again. I don't think you can. I think they closed the window. But when I saw Q, I was like, weird. I don't know. They don't call it a coin, but they have an alt payment system and a different way of looking at it. So it will have a monetary value. It could be worth $1, so you can end up with 100,000 plus, or it could be worth 0.0001. So Andrew's in here. Stephen, I'm Hungarian too, right? Yeah, that's sweet. Nah, not a lot of us. Well, again, I don't speak Hungarian, so I don't know how to pronounce your last name. But I'm gonna see if I can queue up what my real last name was and how it got shortened. If I don't do it here, because I can't, it's a weird spelling. You'll appreciate it being Hungarian. But yeah, we got to stick together. One thing I know about Hungarian people, they're zany. But they're awesome people. I know a few Hungarians here and there, and man, they're good people, good hearts, a little crazy, a little, but in a good way, not like Psycho Award Baker Act type of thing. They're just good people, man. What else we have in here? When retire, some real. You're after my heart, man. When? Crypto Bird Dog. Let's see. Anthony Jackson saying, "Oh man, I wish I knew. I would have asked for a huge favor. Want an autograph from someone going there." I'm not sure what that's about, but making goulash. You know what, man? Goulash was like one of my favorite things growing up as a kid. You probably should hit me up on Twitter if you got it, because I don't know that I even have a good recipe, because I think it got I think our goulash was something my dad made, who's the Hungarian part of the family, but he just started making goulash. I think he Americanized it. I don't know. I feel like maybe it's not authentic, but I always liked the goulash. Yeah, crazy enough to be in the crypto space, but you're even crazier to hodl, right? Because then you'd be called crazy. Phoenix Starborn, yes, yes, you got it. XRP is Qcoin. Right on. Where we go one, we go all. And Annalise is hungry. Well, you know what? I mean, don't let me stop you from grabbing a quick bite. I mean, I certainly wouldn't want to do that. That would be weird. All right, so what I want to show you here is that since I ripped into this whole Hungarian thing, I'll tell you a little story. So I told you that my grandfather, my dad's father, came into the this entire race. Well, not exactly, man. I'm also Italian and Irish too, but I love Hungarians, man, and I'm one of them, and I'm a little on the I can relate. You know what I'm saying, Anthony? But when he immigrated, again, most of the family came in through Canada, but my grandfather came into the U.S. and he ended up finding a woman in Virginia, which ended up being my grandmother, who was also Hungarian. So that's kind of an oddity right in itself. So they ended up marrying, moving to the Buffalo area. And my dad growing up, his first name was he got made fun of for his first name and also for his last name because this is his last name. And right there, that is pronounced Chipcar, and nobody could pronounce it. Can you imagine Americans trying to attempt to pronounce that? Sipcar is what we got, a lot of Sikara. So they couldn't pronounce it, but it's Chipcar. So when you see Chipcar, you know, Chip is my surname, but everyone calls me Chip, even on pro emails. I send out business emails, even though it has my first name. Who cares? Nobody knows it. I'm getting rid of it. I'm banning it forever. I'm gonna go by Cher goes by Cher. I'll go by Chip, even though it's goofy. It's a goofy name, but you know that's the original name, Chipcar. So my grandfather says like, hey man, you know it's pronounced Chipcar. Why don't we just lose the car part? You know, because we're not mechanics or anything. And why don't we just become Chips? But let's spell it phonetically so people can actually spell it, right? Let's do that. Is that possible? So that's what we ended up doing. And so I wanted to just get that little thing out there. It's a fun little story. So that's how I became Chip, if you want to know. That's how Chip came to be because, I mean, I want to do something really quick here. Now that we're on the topic here, I wasn't planning this, but this is kind of cool. So another thing is, if you guys are on a professional networking site called LinkedIn, I'm sure people have a profile up there. But I'm not here to show you my profile. I'm here to show you something else. And you know, LinkedIn's not loading. I'm getting the old square with the little line, right? Why? Because it's a live stream. Why? Because it's a live stream. Why else? Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Thank you for sending me a recipe. Wait, Naginar's out. I got to try that. Well, you can also tweet me too. You can DM me because I think we're following each other. So, but what I wanted to, holy cow, what is going on with the internet here? Yeah, let's see. I'm looking through the comments here, and what else? Okay, let me do this. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. So as you guys know, my first name is spelled with a PH, and that's pretty bad because I don't think anyone's pronounced it Stephen. They'll call me Stefan. And so I'll be in like Starbucks, they're like, Stefan? And of course, I think if they're calling somebody else, because why would they be talking to me, right? Why would they possibly be talking to me? So I kind of miss that. Holy cow, Eddie's in the stream. Crypto Eddie's in the stream. Sorry, backstories. I don't know what that was about. I don't know, Crypto Eddie, if you heard my whole rambling about my surname, but it's it's a story anyway. So funny enough, so a couple people hit me up on LinkedIn and they go like, hey, man, this, you know, look, I mean, I saw you at this conference and I don't think this is you. And they were right, it wasn't me, but this is what, so I have a brother out there. Now think about this. Chip is a shortening of my Hungarian surname, Chipcar, right? Shortened name version of that, shortened to Chip. And some people started hitting me up and they said, hey, this guy also has your name, but it's spelled V-E-N. And you can see he's the opposite spelling and he's pumped. This dude's pumped. Look at this guy. He's a fitness trainer or something. Now here's the weird part. Okay, this is where it gets a little creepy and weird. I look him up and I did hit him up. I'm not going to get into it, but I messaged him and said, hey, you know, bro for another Mo. And he basically said, I'm like, I didn't connect with you, man. We have the same name, sort of, right? So his office at one point, I don't think he's there anymore, but anyway, he was he was really about less than a half a mile away from me. So that kind of freaked me out a little bit. Anyway, I go into these rambling stories at times, right? So anyway, so I want to go through the, who else just popped in the room here? Who else? Phoenix Starborn, Crypto Eddie. She's listening in the background. Thank you for jumping in. And Myron, what is he saying? Balanced for, wait, what do you say? Oh, haha. So Myron's saying, Steve Fenn with the PH balanced for my woman. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna share that with her, and she's gonna think that's not funny. Okay, she'll be like, I don't get it. It's not funny. But no, she's funny enough. Is she makes soaps, which I will promote from time to time because they're awesome. They're all handmade. They're natural. They are amazing. I will not use any other ones. She does these amazing soaps, and I'm so proud of her. Her recipes are great. She even uses, instead of regular colorant, that's the kind of household we are around here. We like to use natural stuff and eat healthy and all that. But she even uses like flowers for coloring, not because you can make a really natural soap and then kill it by doing some weird sort of, what is it, yellow number 5 or some kind of colorant that would really screw it up in there, right? So yeah, so I'm really proud of her. At some point, maybe I'll show her soaps. But anyway, they're really good soaps. I would promote them because I got nothing to promote except my stream. And I know we're coming up on an hour here. Yeah, it's about an hour. I want to really say thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for sharing this space. Thank you for being part of the XRP community. Thank you for giving. When it's a giving community, you guys give a lot. You give time, you give energy, you give to charities. It's one of the reasons that I really love this community, and I feel really proud to be part of it. I also love the streamers, Jungle Inc., somebody I looked up to, and Crypto Eddie, never miss one of her streams. I love her fluff. She has the fluff. I'm going to do Tech Thursdays, and we'll start getting into some interviews. But thank you guys for getting the word out there. Thank you for your support. I'm just going to run through down here a little bit. CBD, CryptoBird, great job. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for showing up and giving me this opportunity. Thank you for being you. Okay, thank you, Summer. And man, am I going to get on this rant again about where are your videos? Why don't I see your videos? Put it in the chat there. Anthony Jackson, drop it in your description, the soaps. Yeah, we'll drop it in the description. That's a good idea, Anthony. Not to go off a little bit too much, but how about if I just do this real quick? So I'll just show it real quick because I like it, and I probably will start putting it in there because they are pretty badass, I gotta say. Let's go into here. Yeah, so basically her soaps are called Hao Kai. It's a Hao and Kai are two Hawaiian words. It's Hawaiian inspired, these soaps, and it basically means Kai means water, and H-A-U, Hao means it's basically the bush you've seen, that famous Hawaiian flower that it grows on her. So think about flower and water, and that's how the derivative came to be. But she puts out some cool, and thank you for some of the people in the crypto space that have purchased some of these, and you've also had some amazing feedback. But she does these types of soaps. She does cold processed soaps here. This purple soul is pretty cool as well. But again, all natural. So when you see, yeah, I think I will sign up. I'll sign up and get a newsletter and some special deals. No, let's see here. Yeah, so she does these travel ones too. So when I travel, last time I traveled, I had to use it's weird when you start using natural soaps and you end up traveling, you get that little soap that you get in a hotel. Man, I was like dry skin. I felt like my skin was all chafed and really goofed up, and it was kind of weird. So yeah, these are little travel canisters. So they just pop out, you throw it in there, and it seals up, which is pretty cool. She does these facial steam flowers that are just all natural flowers that you steam, does deep pore cleansing. A little bit about the story, and I keep telling her she's going to put her picture up there. I'm going to have to work on that a little bit, but it's just H-A-U. I'll tell you what I'll do here for everybody here, just since you asked. Thank you so much. But really good stuff. I can get behind it 100%. She puts these little hearts in here. But if you look at the ingredients here, distilled water, saponified oils, coconut, palm, safflower, glycerin, aloe vera. So it's all natural stuff, stuff that you're used to. You don't generally see in soaps because they're usually the words are like 14 letters, and you just can't even pronounce them the first, second, or third try, to be honest with you. So let me just run it up again. Jungle Inc., bro, gonna have 2,000 people in this live, bro. Nice, thank you. Thank you, my man. Thank you so much. You know what? A lot of praise, man, because when I go to the go-to videos I have to see, here's can everybody relate when we watch a Jungle Inc. video? Man, I want to rush out. I want to remortgage my house. I want to just jump because any little weird doubt that creeps in your head about, hey, you read a couple FUD articles and then all you have to do is pop into Jungle Inc. And if you want the deep dive stuff, the way Crypto Eddie connects the dots, it's amazing, astounding. There's really nobody in the community connecting dots like what she does. She pulls up white paper, starts digging in, uncovering stuff, smacking people down with the FUD, putting them in their place, throat punching them a little bit, and then as always, the fluff, which I love. That's really one of my favorite parts because I feel like I'm actually learning about Japan. My wife had some colleagues that were down here recently for 3 year stay, and then they moved back. So they would share a lot. We'd go to dinner at their house. So I really love the culture. And I'm gonna have to hit you up today for those. I'm gonna have to hit you up for some of those Kit Kats because I was telling my daughter about the Kit Kat thing, and I just can't believe how many flavors there are. So well, I'll DM you or something like that. I'll just send you some XRP, but maybe you can send a care package of the some of those special. I know they have them, like they have seasonal ones that come out, but I would love to put some of those in there into my what do you call it, my fridge over there. I like everything cold. Phoenix Starborn Sodium Laura. See, I can't pronounce that, but I think it's bad. And that's one thing about Starborn. He's if it's a he or she, I don't know, maybe a she. Let's not talk gender tonight. But anyway, I've appreciated some stuff. You had shared something the other night about 5G, and I don't know a lot about the 5G space. It started freaking me out when I started thinking about health concerns, and you want to stay far away from it. Started freaking me out a little bit. So I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit. Crypto Eddie says she wants to wear some medieval armor and charging a horse when she listens to Jungle. Right. You know what I mean? Like the arm. Well, that's the thing. The pictures get you a little ramped up and going, and then it's always some cool guy with like a helmet on or a spear or something, and you just feel like you're like the cavalry riding in, and then it wouldn't be uncommon to watch a Jungle Inc. and he also busts the FUD too, which I really love. Sumreal says he loves the fluff. Crypto Bird Dog says Anna Bidji. I don't know what that is. Apparently I can't read that either. Phoenix Starborn says, yeah, I want to hang out with Eddie. CKJ, DNI, Brad Jungle, good with medieval or steampunk. Yeah, I like steampunk stuff too. It seems like it used to be a little bit bigger back in the day, but I still like to see that. DNI says Kit Kat here as well. All kinds. Never noticed until Eddie brought it up. Yeah, man. I went to the store, like I went to a 7-Eleven, and they have that same boring Kit Kat. I mean, if you go into, they basically taking crackers, like Ritz crackers, popular here. So you can go into an aisle and there's really 4 rows of different kind of crackers, but they never thought, I wonder if the Kit Kat thing would play in the US. I wonder if they'd like a mango Kit Kat or a strawberry Kit Kat or, I don't know, rice paper Kit Kat. I don't know. Why wouldn't that play here, Something that I will get into that I love, and for the Canadian people in the house, one of the greatest candy bars ever created, Coffee Crisp. It is the greatest candy, and it's finally available here. I can get it. There's actually a store down here that carries it. But if you've ever had a Coffee Crisp bar, it is the culmination of everything good. It doesn't really taste like coffee, but it's sort of a wafery goodness. I don't know. They come in big bars, and you'll eat the whole thing. You'll eat 6 of them if you have them. They're great. I don't know if anyone's ever had the chance. Anthony Jackson, if you ever, seriously, you probably have one of those Coffee Crisps in your house right now. Am I right? These Coffee Crisps are probably one of the greatest candy bars ever. And you know what? I'm not saying about Kit Kats because it'd be pretty cool, but if you guys have a chance, write that down in your bucket list. Must have Coffee Crisp. And maybe you try it and you're like, it's okay. I don't know. I didn't dig it. It was okay. I don't know. I didn't really love it. But if you do that, then you can come looking for me and you can give it to me. I'll take it, But and then you'll one-up me with the next thing. I don't know, there's like Zero bars. There's Bounty if you're in the UK. Those are pretty cool too. They actually have those at my supermarket. Snickers, the boring stuff that they have. here and there. But anyway, it is getting ready. I went way over. I again appreciate everyone that's here. Crypto Eddie, Phoenix Starborn, Myron Bailey, Annalise George, the Crypto Bird Dog, also my fellow Floridian Sumreal guys in here. Anthony Jackson, thank you so much for your support, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, we will all hang out in person sooner than later. I like that, and I am not going to go against that. Anthony Jackson, who else? Phoenix Arborn. Yeah, so guys, thank you for staying to the end. Much appreciated. Anthony says, sub the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much. Buy some subs. Look, if you're into healthy stuff, this is cool stuff, man. I mean, it really is good stuff. And maybe what I'll start doing is maybe I'll start tweeting some of this stuff. But really, man, I wouldn't steer you wrong. It's a money back guarantee for me. You would try it and I think you'll get hooked. So it's coming to that time. That's my take. What's yours? Chip